Most people confuse withholding with deprivation. They hear the word and think of denial, coldness, emptiness, loss. But withholding is not about lacking something. It is about choosing not to give time, energy, emotion, explanation, access. The undisciplined give everything immediately. They respond instantly. They explain reflexively. They reveal prematurely. Not because they are generous, but because they are uncomfortable holding tension. Withholding is the ability to sit with tension without dissolving it. It is strength that does not rush relief. The disciplined man understands. What you give too freely loses weight, and what you withhold intentionally gains gravity. The modern world is built on immediacy, instant replies, instant validation, instant presence, instant explanation. This conditions people to expect access, not earn it. So when you delay, withhold, or remain unavailable, they feel disturbed. Not because you are wrong, but because you broke the pattern. They say, you changed, you're distant, you're different now. What they mean is, you are no longer predictable. Predictability is how people manage you. Withholding disrupts expectation, and disruption creates recalibration. The moment you stop being instantly accessible, people reassess your value. Not consciously, instinctively. Scarcity sharpens perception. Withholding begins inside. Before you withhold words, you must withhold reactions. Before you withhold access, you must withhold impulse. The urge to give, to speak, to clarify, to respond, is emotional. It comes from discomfort. Discipline is learning to delay satisfaction, to feel the impulse rise and not obey it. This is why fasting works, why silence works, why solitude works. They train your nervous system to survive without immediate release. The man who can withhold from himself cannot be manipulated by others, because manipulation feeds on urgency, and urgency disappear. When you no longer rush relief, when you withhold intentionally, dynamics invert. You speak less, others speak more. You explain less, others justify themselves. You react less, others escalate. This is not coincidence. Withholding creates imbalance, and imbalance reveals hierarchy. Those accustomed to access grow uneasy. Those accustomed to control lose footing. Those accustomed to emotional leverage panic, because withholding removes the feedback loop. You are no longer feeding the system that feeds on you, and without fuel, control mechanisms collapse. Silence is one form of withholding. Distance is another. Stillness is another. All of them say the same thing. I choose when to engage. That choice is authority. At the highest level, withholding becomes effortless. You no longer feel guilty for not responding. You no longer feel pressure to explain. You no longer feel rushed to prove. Your energy is guarded. Your presence is selective. Your words are deliberate. You give when it matters. You speak when it counts. You act when timing is correct. This makes your presence heavy, not loud, not aggressive, heavy. People feel it, even if they cannot explain why, because you are no longer leaking yourself into every moment. You are contained, and what is contained cannot be drained. Withholding is not selfishness, it is self-command, and the man who commands himself decides what the world receives. When you withhold, something uncomfortable happens. People reveal how much they depended on your availability, not your presence, your access. They grow impatient, they become emotional, they demand clarity, they accuse distance. This reaction is not about you, it is withdrawal. You removed a supply, attention, validation, emotional labor, predictability, and the system reacts. This is how you learn who was connected to you and who was feeding from you. Withholding is diagnostic. It shows you who respects autonomy, who resents boundaries, who confuses generosity with obligation. The disciplined man does not rush to soothe this discomfort. He lets the truth surface. Most people cannot withhold because they fear loss. Loss of connection, loss of relevance, loss of being needed. So they give more, speak more, chase more. This accelerates the loss they fear. Withholding requires you to accept that some things may leave, and that is the point. Anything that survived without constant feeding is real. Anything that collapses when access is restrictive was never stable. The disciplined man understands, if withholding costs you something, that something was already costing you. You just hadn't noticed yet. Eventually, withholding extends beyond moments. It becomes a lifestyle. You choose solitude, not because you are antisocial, but because you are precise. Solitude is withholding your presence from noise, from drama, from urgency, from emotional chaos. In solitude, your energy recalibrates, your standards sharpen, your identity stabilizes. You learn who you are without witnesses. And once you know that, the world loses its ability to define you. This is the most dangerous form of withholding yourself from distortion. At the final stage, withholding is no longer effort, it is instinct. You do not overshare, you do not overreact, you do not overexplain, you do not overextend. You move selectively, speak intentionally, engage sparingly, not because you are closed, but because you are complete. You are no longer trying to fill gaps, you are protecting alignment. This is what authority looks like when it is internal. No announcement, no defense, no performance, just quiet command. Withholding is not absence, it is sovereignty. And the man who controls his availability controls his life. Every relationship runs on an emotional economy. Energy is exchanged, presence is valued, attention has weight, but value is determined by scarcity. When you give endlessly, your presence becomes assumed. When you are always available, you become background noise. Withholding restores value, not artificially, naturally, because humans instinctively prioritize what is not guaranteed. This is why your silence is louder than constant reassurance, why your absence is heavier than forced presence. Scarcity does not manipulate, it clarifies. It forces people to confront how much you actually mattered. Most people cannot withhold because they fear loss. Loss of connection, loss of relevance, loss of being needed. So they give more, speak more, chase more. This accelerates the loss they fear. Withholding requires you to accept that some things may leave, and that is the point. Anything that survives without constant feeding is real. Anything that collapses when access is restricted was never stable. The disciplined man understands, if withholding costs you something, that something was already costing you. You just hadn't noticed yet. Eventually, withholding extends beyond moments. It becomes a lifestyle. You choose solitude, not because you are antisocial, but because you are precise. Solitude is withholding your presence from noise, from drama, from urgency, from emotional chaos. In solitude, your energy recalibrates, your standards sharpen, your identity stabilizes. You learn who you are without witnesses, and once you know that, the world loses its ability to define you. This is the most dangerous form of withholding yourself from distortion. Withholding is not absence, it is sovereignty. And the man who controls his availability controls his life. At the final stage, withholding is no longer effort, it is instinct. You do not overshare, you do not overreact, you do not overexplain, you do not overextend. You move selectively, speak intentionally, engage sparingly, not because you are closed, but because you are complete. You are no longer trying to fill gaps, you are protecting alignment. This is what authority looks like when it is internal. No announcement, no defense, no performance, just quiet command.